Yes! Woo! Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, buckle in, because today we've got something special in store for you. The grandest spectacle, the greatest show of all, Johnny Bang Bang Show. Here's your host, Robert Gifford.
It's me. I am the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, sit down, buckle in, enjoy the ride. That is the Johnny Bang Bang Show. That is the name of this game. I am Robert Gifford, a.k.a. Johnny Bang Bang. To my right, as always, although you can't really tell on the screen, right in the studio is Grant DeMarc Clark, a.k.a. Sonny Batunsky, and the man that sits in the middle of the frame, as always, in the basement of his mommy's and daddy's house, kicking it, the newly formed teacher, our manager, Fluff McGee, a.k.a. Hale Brown, hailing all the way from Illinois, boys.
Oh.
We are off and running. First show we've ever done on time. So how the hell are you guys doing? Grant, you talk first because you just had a new work week. How's things going for you?
Very, very busy, learning the ropes. If you didn't know, I'm a chiropractor. I just started a new office that does things completely different. So pretty much been getting home at 9 o'clock every single night, but excited, love it so far. And also, side note, we are now changing this name from Johnny Bang Bang Podcast to Rock Hard Juice Robinson Appreciation Club. That is
He's tired. He's tired.
Well,
He's tired.
Mr. Saturday Night Rock Hard Juice Robinson.
Mr.
Looked like you got
Saturday
4
night.
hours this week, but still performing, man. Hale, how you doing, man? How's things going for you?
I'm doing great. I would like to give a shout out. I have a very obsessive personality, so I'll just find random things to obsess over. So this week is soap. Big soap guy now. There's a soap shop up in Davenport, Grant, Buff City Soaps. Shout out to those guys. Got caught in a storm up there and spent an hour in a soap shop. Spent way too much money.
Is this a true
I
story?
thought you were going
This is a true story.
we about soap.
we were in like a severe thunderstorm warning, and we didn't want to go outside, so we just chilled out in a soap like a soap store and just hung out and bought a bunch of soap.
That's beautiful.
And if you're wondering why you can no longer see Hale, that's because he sways back and forth from frame
Oh
to
my
frame.
gosh, sorry.
Sit up.
Sit in your mark.
Don't make
man.
me call your mom and tell her to work on your posture.
Yeah, because if not, I know a chiropractor for you.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, lots and lots of wrestling as always. Actually, probably the most wrestling on TV that there has been maybe ever in a week span that doesn't include, any type of pay-per-view. We have Monday Night Raw. We have NXT on Tuesday. We have AEW Dynamite. We have is AEW still doing after or their Dark? Or has
No.
that been canceled?
It's gone.
Gone.
Sayonara.
Okay. So that's gone. But you have Friday Night SmackDown, and you have Rampage on Friday, and now you have Collision. So, boys, lots and lots to talk about. Let's waste no time.
And Battle of the Belt 25.
And Battle of the Belts, you're right. So there was even more wrestling on TNT. Let's dive right in. Let's start the week off with Monday Night Raw and dive right into the Judgment Day, which seems to kind of carry the storyline thread on Monday Night Raws every week. First of all, before we kind of get started, I always like to throw a kind of a deeper thinking question to you guys, or just kind of not even that, but maybe just like a bigger picture question. Judgment Day, whether they're getting ready to break up or because they were on NXT and they had a big week on that too. Where are we at with Judgment Day as far as factions? What were your thoughts on them in the beginning? What were your thoughts when Edge left, and how do you think they've done since? And Hale, I'm going to throw it to you first to start.
So, I mean, when they first started out, and I think I can agree, or I think a lot of people would agree with this, I thought it was just kind of like a nothing faction. I mean, it was just something that Edge set up. Maybe the idea was that Edge would catapult these guys moving forward. But when Edge was out, brought in Finn Balor, and I don't know if you guys remember, but they were losing a lot of matches like right when they started out, and it was like it was looking like what was that group that came out that was managed by or led by Mustafa Ali?
Retribution.
Retribution.
It looked like
You
Retribution.
got to say it that way. You got to
2.0.
yell Retribution.
Retribution. But
The Dark Order.
Hey.
2.0.
But anyway, so I will say that like I think they've gone way above like expectations just with Dominic Mysterio being added in there and watching his like impact on the group, and Rhea Ripley, who is one of the top stars of the women's division and I think has shown it over the past year. And then Damian Priest has come into his own. And I think just overall with all those guys doing their thing, it's Judgment Day has turned into probably one of the best factions that WWE has had in a while, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think, Grant? Just as going off of what he said.
No, I agree. When they started, Edge had it, and it was just like, this is weird. Edge doesn't really need. I don't think Edge needs a faction. And then they had the whole turn where Balor took over, and then we got Dom brought in. After that, everything happened, and then I think we all agreed. We were like, oh, this group's kind of picking up steam, and Finn Balor's the least important person now. And now you look at it. I mean, Finn's doing. I mean, this Finn kind of storyline with Damian in between. Like, are we breaking up? Are we not? Is working out pretty good. Damian's got the money in the bank, so he'll probably be a future champion, unless it doesn't work. And then Dom and Ray that's just fantastic. Dom's a natural heel. And, I mean, you see it. They're on this. I mean, you probably could have put them on Friday Night SmackDown. You could have had them on all three shows. They're just a group right now similar to like the Bloodline being on everything. I'm okay with it. Yeah,
I'm okay with it too. And I think it kind of reminds me of like late 90s, the way they used Stone Cold and threaded him in through the whole show. They definitely have been doing that lately with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. And then, but now on Monday Night Raw, it was like, what was it going to be? And it's turned into Judgment Day, and kind of the way that you can tell different stories off of that, because you have the Rhea and Dom, the Dirty Dom, they're calling him now, which always, if Rhea says something, it gets over. You're right. When Edge was with them, it felt weird. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I think, didn't they get rid of Edge out of that because they needed like an opponent at SummerSlam because like somebody had gotten hurt? It felt like there was a quick kibosh with Edge in that group, and then it just kind of turned. And then has it been a year ago that we had that mixed tag?
Yeah.
Has that been a year?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Damn, dude, time's flying, man. But anyways, I think Judgment Day has just done an incredible job, and I just kind of wanted to know what you guys thought, if they were perfectly rated, overrated, or needed some love. So
I think it's very similar to how Evolution was booked back in like 04, 05, where Evolution, I don't know if you guys remember the Raws back then, but the whole show revolved around Evolution and like what Evolution was doing. Now I feel like, and maybe it's because Triple H is the top dog in charge now, but like I feel like that's kind of how he's trying to structure the two shows.
Yeah. Well, with that being said,
Evolution is a mystery.
Judgment Day is fine, in quotations. So what do you guys think? Is Judgment Day fine? Are they just kind of playing with that, just to kind of get through, these dog days, or are they setting something up for, the big fall of Finn Balor? What do you guys think?
Yeah, they'll run with it for a while. That they'll tease this, probably every time Damian tries to go cash in, and then
Finn will be there to kind of cock block it a little bit.
They'll end up breaking that up. Finn will do his own thing. Damian will do his own thing. I hope they keep Dom and Rhea together.
I just kind of want to clarify what I mean by cock blocking. You see, cock is a rooster. It's a type of bird. Yeah. And sometimes when they are trying to achieve something, you got to block them from achieving it. So that's all I meant by that, children. I apologize if you guys mistakenly took it for for something that maybe your stepdad or your Uncle Irv used to do.
Your Uncle Irv.
So anyways, just kind of want to clarify that for our buddy Hale. Anyways, what do you think, Hale? Is Judgment Day fine? Are we getting a twist turn here coming up the next couple weeks?
Well, I put it as Judgment Day is fine, just as kind of like a equivalence to kind of an equivalence to, I remember Bullet Club. Grant, I think you remember as well, when Bullet Club used to always do the Bullet Club is fine, like stuff like that. That's kind of why I put it. Yeah, Bullet Club's fine. Like, that's kind of why I put it with Judgment Day, or it's just like, it's fine. Everything's all good. And I did kind of think it was funny that they like came back like on Monday and like completely tried to turn things around and say like, hey, everything's fine, it's all good. You know, you're getting your shot, I'm getting my shot. It's all good. It's fine.
Dude,
So
it's fine. Bullet Club's fine.
fine.
Well,
It's fine.
Well,
We're-
Judgment Day is fine. I actually hope they don't break them up in the sense of like all together. I wouldn't mind seeing Finn leave it, you know, and then maybe they throw in a new guy. If there was someone new to come in, you know, aka like a Baron Corbin, which I know he's in the middle of, like, it wouldn't be Baron Corbin, but like somebody, Baron Corbin's in the middle of his, you know, his transformation now, which
I
is
got
good. But like, who do you think is somebody who's kind of just kind of wavering, needs something different? Who would you pick?
Finn Balor's protege, the Irish Ace.
Oh,
Jordan Devlin or whatever they're calling him. DJ McDonough or whatever now.
JD McDonough.
Yeah,
or,
Throw him in there because his character
What?
in NXT was that he was the kind of, you know, kind of messed up,
It's an interesting
twisted,
choice.
kind of almost like serial killer kind of idea where he took pleasure in, you know, hurting people. Like throw that in there, make it a little bit more of a have that
I
like,
would-
serious tone with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing like Mustafa Ali give another shot, because I thought Mustafa Ali's just been like he's just like had the bad luck being like stuck with Retribution, which was a terrible idea in the first place. And then it's like I would just like to see him get a second chance with like in a role where it's like you don't have to do a whole lot. You're not set up as the leader of the group, you know. There's not a whole lot of pressure. You're just kind of piggybacking off these like established guys who, you know, maybe you can help your stock grow in the meantime as well.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that's a good choice. I like your choice too, though, because
Well, they teased it already when
Yeah.
the day Finn had the match against Balor, or Balor had the match against Rollins.
Yeah.
They had him in the background, and then that's where it started, all the loyalty to
yeah.
them. So
No, I like it. I like it. Anything you guys want to add in that segment, or we want to just keep flying here?
Judgment Day's fine.
It's fine.
They're fine.
They're fine. Okay,
Stop lying
McIntyre,
about it.
Riddle, Imperium. We kind of roll there. It seems like McIntyre is going to be playing that role of Randy Orton for a bit here for Matt Riddle, because Matt Riddle, and we talked about this a little bit, in a weird place right now. You know, you get injured, you come back, you expect to kind of pick up right where you left off, and I think it kind of showcases how good Randy Orton really is, and obviously how over that man is, and how Matt Riddle was still kind of piggybacking off of what Randy Orton was doing, because he doesn't have that love affair for him before he got injured. McIntyre now kind of stepping into that role. What do you guys, what do you think of that duo together? Because ultimately, this is going to lead to McIntyre, Gunther
At SummerSlam.
at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship.
I mean, it is what it is. I see, you know, just getting McIntyre. What, this was McIntyre's first match back?
Yeah, will there be a belt exchange? I mean, are we thinking this is going to lead to that?
I think so. I think Gunther loses at SummerSlam.
Interesting.
I hope not. I
That's
hope
breaking
not.
news.
I-
That's a hot take
hope,
right
I
there.
hope not, but I think it's going to happen. Just
Interesting.
I don't think it will, just because they're so close to Honky Tonk's record. And the thing is like I don't think that record will ever, like, if you don't do it now with as close as they are right now, I don't know if that record will ever be broken. So it's like with as close as they are right now, making this kind of a monumental title run for Gunther, it's like you're so close, just go ahead and do it. You know, just go ahead and fully push through. And I don't know, I feel like all the steam's with Gunther right now, and there's just, I mean, they're going to try to build McIntyre back up, but I don't know. I like the title run that Gunther is on. I like what he's doing. I would rather see that continue than just Drew McIntyre be champion again.
What blows my mind is that Honky Tonk Man has the record in the first place. Like, of all the names in WWE history, you would never assume that Honky Tonk. This comes back to Bob Backlund for me too. Like Bob Backlund, you would never have thought was a guy, because for me personally, I saw him at the end of his run, right? I saw him at the end of his career. So I'm like, this is the guy that everybody's going apeshit about? This guy held the belt this long? And it's just like, you would never thought that with Honky Tonk Man. So he is close, but is there something said about, like, you know, having some of these old guys hang on to some of these records? Because if not, otherwise they wouldn't even be in a frame of conversation anymore.
Honky Tonk Man.
I mean, Honky Tonk Man, I don't know. I can go without Honky Tonk Man. I mean, it's not really. I mean, you think of people back in that era of WWE. I guess Honky Tonk Man's not like really one of those guys that like comes to the forefront of my mind. You
Watch
know,
yourself.
and it's one of those things where you could possibly build a star off Gunther. Like, hey, yeah, I have the longest intercontinental title run. Like this belt that's been around forever. Yeah, I have the longest version of it. So
I got to be honest with you. So I'm kind of leaning towards. I know we're not at our prediction show yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards Grant's take on they get it off of him because I think they're ready for Gunther to be the next challenger for Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Like I think they're going to start building a feud off of that, and I think that's going to be a fantastic feud. Now, ultimately, that means if they do that. Don't we want Gunther to be the champion at some point? So does Rollins end up taking it to Mania? I mean, that's a lot of questions to get into, but
it's funny you say that because I think WWE showed another person that I think is going to be the next challenger for Seth Rollins, like later on in the episode.
oh,
And I
okay.
think it's going to be the big faction. Oh, we'll
want me
talk
to
about it
wait?
when we get there. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll wait when we get there. But I'll point it out. I think I think I know what they're going to try to do going forward.
Let's go off of this Imperium split, though. This tease that they're doing. What do you think? Did you want to dive? Anybody have thoughts on that? Because that's a big deal if they do that. I hope they don't. I love that whole thing together.
I think they're
No,
just doing
yeah.
that, giving Gunther more character that, he's not going to accept
Right.
mediocrity out of his
guys.
Right.
henchmen.
Right.
So
I think so too. I think a lot of people were kind of like going overboard on like Instagram and Twitter, saying that like that these guys are gonna break up and that they're gonna be done. But I don't see it happening. I don't see that. I don't see there being a split between them. I think it's just something for them to kind of like a talking point or something like that moving into SummerSlam.
All right. Well, speaking of SummerSlam and speaking of, not necessarily splits, but like a massive viral moment that could have been that went flat on the crowd. Logan Paul Ricochet, right? This is, we all thought that maybe we get a Logan Paul LA Knight at SummerSlam after Money in the Bank. We always see the chemistry that Ricochet and Logan Paul tend to have. Seems like everything is these viral moments with them. They set it up to be that way. Logan Paul is the master of the internet. Ricochet is he's the master of the big moment in WWE when it comes to spots. What'd you think of that segment? Logan Paul, in my eyes, guys, he hits home runs when he steps on the show, man. He comes out and he just delivers promos. I think he does a great job with that. He gets the crowd booing him. He does a really good job for a guy that's had very limited time in his business. And in my eyes, he seemed to kind of get it more than Ricochet got it. What'd you think of that whole segment?
I agree with you on that one.
Grant, explain why though. Like, what'd you think?
No, I mean, let's be honest with it. Like, why do we like Ricochet? In all honesty, because he can do
The physical
He
things.
can jump over the top,
Does
do
flips.
a flip and land, and be like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And every time he does that, I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome." But I mean, other than that, I mean, if they put him on the mic against each other, Logan Paul is going to destroy him. And it's like Logan Paul's been in WWE for about a year over now.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this was the worst idea that. I mean, if you want to have a good back and forth between Ricochet and Logan Paul, this is a terrible idea. Ricochet could just never do it. Like there's a reason we like Ricochet. It's because of what he can do in the ring. It's not what he can do on the mic. And it's like
I kind of wanted to. When I was mowing this week, I listened back to our show and I listened to some of the other wrestling podcasts that exist out there. Of course, we're the number one. So if you guys, make sure that you guys are checking us out. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Now you guys are listening to us on Twitch. And big news, we have a second show coming up this week, starting this Thursday, 9:30, with a big thing that we're going to try to pull off. We'll talk about that later in the show. But for now, just kind of want to talk to you guys about this idea that Ricochet is this generation's Evan Bourne, right? Evan Bourne, maybe there's a little bit more staying power with Ricochet. He seemed to have gotten over a little bit more in the last year with the powers to be. But like that's what Evan Bourne was there to do. He was there to hit that one spectacular move, hit it in a Money in the Bank, maybe hit it in a Royal Rumble or two, whatever. But like
hit it straight into an RKO.
Hit it straight into an RKO, send those viral moments, and then be on his way. And then there is no more Evan Bourne here. So
yeah, because he became Matt Sydal.
You're right, but not in this company. So I guess since there is a little more staying power and they are kind of showing Ricochet like, hey, we're giving you an opportunity here. This is a big spot for you. You're going to be fighting Logan Paul. I think he ultimately loses. I think Logan Paul will win that because he needs one. But like, dude, he did this unbelievable flip out of the ring. I thought it was awesome. But Logan Paul basically had to tell the fans how cool it was of what they just seen because that crowd didn't even react to that moment.
The other thing is too, well, for the casual fan, I think it's mainly because Ricochet was just getting destroyed on the mic against Logan Paul. So if you do a flip, it's like cool, man, but you still got like put in your place essentially. And then the other thing is too, for the hardcore fan, this is also not the first time Ricochet has done this. Like this is a callback to his
NXT
rivalry
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream in NXT. So this isn't even really the first time he's done this. He's done it before. There?
I love it when Hale takes like shots at me. Like I am a 30-year plus fan in this business.
Like you don't know what happened.
Dude, no, listen to me. No, this is what he's just done. 30-year plus fan in this business. And because I didn't freaking suck the teat of NXT, I'm not a hardcore fan.
Well, right, I'm just informing you. I figured you didn't know, so I'm just informing.
You know what I want to do?
That's actually Rob's match of the week to watch.
Yeah. You know what I want to do? I think one of the segments we should set up in the future when we get a little more engagement here. Maybe we can do it. We'll do a fire round Stump the Schwab, and we'll make Hale our wrestling Schwab. What do you think of that?
I'm all about it.
All right. Well, and then we'll see if people can kind of call in and stump you that week with like the, or email in or whatever, maybe text in or social media, whatever. You can try to stump you with a question or two.
Although Grant beat me in trivia last week.
Ooh.
And I plan to do it again.
Woo. Shots fired. Zoe Starks, Becky Lynch.
That's why I got the Gatorade.
So I have nothing to say about this. Hale, before we got on, said he had something.
Yeah, he has a diatribe. He wants to go on.
Take the mic.
What was it again?
Zoe Starks and Becky.
Zoe Starks, Becky Lynch. Okay, so Zoe
frame
Starks
your face first.
Frame your face first, and then get ready. We'll give you the mic.
Well, so the cam on my end.
Move the camera, but not your face.
I know. Sorry. The cam on my end says I'm perfect, so I'm trying here.
There you go.
Essentially, what I was going to talk about was Zoe Starks, Becky Lynch, and how in this match Zoe Starks ended up winning, and I know it was because of interference from Trish Stratus, but I mainly kind of wanted to get across here. I don't think I've seen a wrestler stock with the fan base drop as much as Becky Lynch's stock has dropped over the past 3-4 years. I mean, back in Becky Lynch's prime, in his heyday, she was like the face of the women's division. She was the man. She was the person that was going head to head with, anybody on the roster for best segment, best appearance, all that stuff. Now she's losing to Zoe Starks, and I know it's because of Trish Stratus and wasn't necessarily a totally clean win. But it's still one of those things where it's like, my Wrestling 2023 bingo card. I'm not putting Zoe Starks beating Becky Lynch on a regular Raw. Like, that's not something I would foresee. And this is the same girl that it's like we put her on such a pedestal previously. Like, again, 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's like I don't even think she's top 5, top 7 women's division right now.
Okay, so I want to go off of that with you. I agree with you in parts, but I also think she's not being presented as a top 5 or top 7 right now, right?
Right. That's what I meant.
So I think the moment she steps in a ring again, so she's always a credible opponent, challenger. Like, we would never doubt that, right? If the WWE wanted to kind of put the machine behind her again, I think she could get close to that, but I don't think she's going to get to where she was. I think her stock was so high because Nia Jax hit her in the freaking face. She had an unbelievable visual, this imagery that we kind of like thought, oh, what a badass. She's up there with a bloody nose. It kind of happened again not too long ago with Zoe Starks, which is what I kind of thought was really cool. But with that being said, I agree with you. Her stock has fallen. But I'm going to be honest with you. I thought her stock kind of went too high in the first place. there was a moment there where like people, if you remember, there was the Stone Cold Becky Lynch rub back in one of those Raw anniversary shows. And I'm not 100% sure that she was ever deserving of that type of clout, but she got it. The fans loved her. In just my eyes, I'm not sure that because I never thought she was better than Sasha. I never thought she was better than Charlotte, and there was probably a handful of other girls that I liked better. I mean, I liked Alexa Bliss better, but that was a preference. I could see why Becky would be better. But as far as that goes, I never thought she was the head of the show, but she was for sure the top 3 or 4. But they were presenting her like she was Stone Cold there for a while.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like how she was booked and how she was presented. She was presented as, not just one of the top commodities of the women's division, but of WWE in general. Like
the way she won the Rumble. I hated the way she won the Rumble. But because she just kind of came out, beat up someone, took their spot. I'm like, well, that's not. Yeah, I'm like, that's not how that works. You can't. You can't just do that.
She's on the cover of the video game. She's like, she was like the. Was it?
That was the one that stopped. WWE had to take a 2-year break.
Dude,
but
Grant shooting hot takes left and right.
But really I don't know.
Everybody agrees with that.
I'll go back to daydreaming. Sorry.
Well, what do you think about Becky Lynch? Do you think so? Like, where are you at right now? I'm going to ask this question. I'll frame it this way: you can choose one of the 3: overrated, underrated, perfectly rated. Where are we at right now in your thoughts?
Overrated.
Becky Lynch overrated.
Yeah.
Hale.
Overrated.
So maybe WWE just sees the same thing that we see right now. I mean, with 3 guys sitting here, not one of us thought she was underrated.
Overrated.
So I think right now where she's at, I think she's perfectly rated.
She's just always like, I don't know. For me, it's like, you can know when you turn on Raw, you're going to see Seth Rollins, you're going to see Cody Rhodes, you're going to see Becky Lynch. And it's like, I would rather see, in all honesty, I'm enjoying what we're going to talk about, seeing Maxine Dupree more than I'm enjoying seeing. Because at least it's fun.
It's new. It's fresh.
It's new. It's fresh. Like, I'm not saying Becky's not great. She's good. Like, maybe take her off TV for a little bit.
Okay, but all right, I'm going to throw something else at you because we are spending quite a bit of time on this. But like, I think it's an interesting conversation. Is this about Becky? This little rivalry, or is this got something to say about like the way we treat? And this is new to us. We don't have a lot of women legends, right? Is Trish Stratus in our eyes, the way Stone Cold is still Stone Cold in our eyes, the way Hulk Hogan is still Hulk Hogan in our eyes, and all these legends, The Rock and so name it, Mankind, The Undertaker, they kind of hold this, hallowed place. Does Trish Stratus have that type of thing? Or was she gone too long? Is there too many generational gap of people that don't really remember how good she was and what she did for that division?
It's like people our age, I think, will totally understand where like the Trish Stratus, like how influential she was and how big of a superstar she was back in that time period. But I do agree with you. There's a large generation of people that, Trish Stratus was not the highlight of like how people remember stuff. And I think that's mainly due to how women's wrestling's been perceived for such a long period of time. So the women's revolution, all those things. So I think that's a big testament to what's going on with that. I mean, I know for me and my friends that watch wrestling, it's Trish Stratus is still one of the best women's wrestlers of all time, and we acknowledge it as such. But yeah, I don't know if
does she honestly? I agree with you, but I'm gonna ask this question: does she honestly make you pop as a fan?
When she first came back, yes. I think they've overdone it now. I think she's been back.
Well, I think it's exciting to see her, and I think it's cool that she's doing a run. Yeah. But personally, I'm not emotionally invested in anything she's doing right now because there's something about her that comes off like just not relatable or not believable in anything she says to me. Like where Becky, I at least buy into her emotion. I don't buy that with Trish. And I think that's what's happening with this rivalry. We're just not getting Trish Stratus to me is like Ronda Rousey is not, if you look in the scheme of things, Ronda Rousey is not a great UFC fighter. When you actually look at it, she was just the first one and she got all these girls to be great UFC fighters, right? And now you kind of see where Ronda falls into a mix of things. She got her ass beat by Holly Holm. She got her ass beat by Amanda Nunes. You know what I mean? Where in Trish Stratus, although I think she was awesome for her time, if she came out now, she'd fall because I don't think she can carry a promo that makes you emotionally invested. So I think that's just kind of why Becky Lynch feels flat right now. And it's because of this 3 kind of month rivalry that she's had after WrestleMania with Lita, now with Trish Stratus. That's how I feel about it.
I just want other people pushed or shown.
Okay.
Like, I want to see Candice LeRae on TV more. I want to see some of these other women wrestlers that aren't getting a shot. Like this, I mean, there's
and this ain't even for the belt.
This rivalry does nothing for me, so I'll just be honest with you. I'd rather see other things.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
But you know what? I'm really excited about this next topic.
Let's dive into it. Why don't you address it? Why don't you set it up?
Well, we got Alpha Academy. Maxine Dupree graduates.
Thank you.
Thank you. Side note, push Chad Gable to the moon. That dude deserves at least some form of, like, give him the IC title or US title. Let him run with it. He deserves it. Second off, Maxine Dupree graduated quicker than any person that's graduated from Chase U. So is Chase U really that legitimate? I don't know. I'm not going to lie, guys. This last when you guys were talking about the Becky Lynch thing, I was thinking about this. So no offense. I was excited for that. Anytime Chad Gable and Otis are on the screen, I love it.
Are you guys enjoying what Alpha Academy has become now? Because they could have been, for a minute there, it felt like there was an Otis, Chad Gable split coming. Mm-hmm. We were going to get an Otis, Maxine Dupree type thing where maybe we got, kind of yesteryear like we did with Otis and Mandy. And then who knows what would have happened to Chad Gable there? Like, are we glad that they kind of went this route with it rather than what they...
Rob, I thought they were going to break up like a month into being a group, and they've been together for 3 years now.
Yeah, dude.
And they're getting better and better, and I'm actually invested in seeing them. Like, I don't watch Raw all the time, but when I don't, I check Twitter, and whenever I see a clip of that, I probably watch it 3 or 4 times just because it's always funny.
Yeah, and it kind of goes to this thing that Miz said on Busted Open this week. He talked a lot about how these young guys don't really realize that you might be given 30 seconds, 60 seconds backstage, and that's the only air time that you're given that week. You got to make it matter. Who does that more than Chad Gable? Like, who does that more than Otis? Otis might not even say but 2 things, but the things he says, like they just like when he's eating watermelon and not speaking.
Tucky.
Look at Otis got over a gimmick of them being compared to heavy equipment. Chad Gable got over Shorty G.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
you're right, and they just seem to get more and more time, and I'm just glad they didn't break it up. And Maxine Dupree now has like a personality. Yeah, like she's fun.
Right. Whereas Maxine Dupree when she first came up was like, managing. I remember what they called them, but the fashion models. I can't even remember their names, but yeah, those guys. It was like
male,
whatever.
Maximus male models.
Mason Mansour.
Yeah, that's it.
Maximus
the
male
one
models.
the one that Eli Drake used to manage. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
They
literally chanted "You deserve it."
Yeah, I know.
In a segment, it's awesome.
By the way, I'm a big Eli Drake fan.
Yeah.
Let's fly through. Does anybody have anything on DeVille, Green, and Chance and Carter?
No.
Nope. Gone. Okay. Bronson Reed joining the Miz in his little Ciampa Miz.
It literally means
that's a fun little match. That was a
fun match. I think it's leading to we're gonna get Gargano back. DIY versus Miz and
I'm okay with that. And we were just talking about how Miz felt like he was in this weird trouble land, but them showing that they're going to continue to give him a rivalry, especially versus Ciampa. I was okay with that. I feel a lot better where Miz is at now.
I love seeing Ciampa in a no DQ match too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm with you.
It was a good match.
Shayna Baszler versus Emma. Any thoughts on did it help you get more invested into the Shayna Ronda?
No. Poor Emma.
Not really.
Hale, Grant, I'm going to ask you. I want one answer response to this. Does Shayna Ronda lead to a loser leaves town match?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say retirement, but loser leaves town.
Will it? Or would it be a good idea? Will it?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. Should it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's speculation around leaving, so
yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
my lead.
Cody challenges Brock because everybody in their life has a Brock Lesnar in their life. It might be your boss. It might be the Brock Lesnar. What is your Brock Lesnar? I'm your Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody has a Brock Lesnar in your life. Real quick, what's your Brock Lesnar in your life?
Hail.
Fluff
It is Hail.
McGee, you are the Brock Lesnar in his life.
Hey,
That's the
how's
bane
it
of my
going?
existence 95% of the time.
The bane of my existence. Yeah, right back at you, bud.
Bod.
Uh,
We've been boys.
we talked about this last week, Cody versus Brock. I know you guys weren't overly excited about it. To me, it's a natural progression in the story, so like I'm okay with it. I don't need nothing else from Cody.
I think we knew that was when Cody lost at Mania. We would go through this whole thing of Cody wins, losses,
and
rivalries. Because if they're prolonging it to the next Mania, that's a year. You gotta.
The only question I'll ask is, should this be for Brock's sake? Because I think we can all agree that Cody's going to win whatever it is. Should this be in some semblance a gimmick match, not just a normal wrestling match? Should this be like a first blood, a last man standing, a cage match, something that
Inferno match?
Something that separates so that when Brock loses it, you're like, okay, he didn't get pinned again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
I
does
would-
Cody
I
need
would-
to just get a clean pin in the ring?
Dude, make it a steel cage so Cody does a moonsault off of it. Why
I'd be
not?
for it. I'd
Why
love to
not?
see those two in a steel cage.
breaks his foot again.
Yep, breaks his foot.
Yeah, he'll be out.
I,
Breaks his
I want a
foot again.
John Moxley first blood match.
Nobody wants a job. Yeah,
Five-
everybody does,
5 minutes.
except for me.
Yeah, no.
Hale, what do you think? Gimmick or no?
I can't remember this segment 100% in my mind. Did Brock come out? Was Brock a part of it? No.
No. He just
No.
issued the challenge, and he said that
Yeah.
everybody has a Brock Lesnar in their life, and he went on this whole thing about people's
Yeah.
losses and just
I-
whatever
I
the
don't-
challenges in their way.
Man, I don't know. Like, I might be the odd one out here, but it's just I feel like I need a stipulation because I just have no drive for this, like for the match. I'm not really excited for it. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like maybe a stipulation get me more into the match, but it's like I feel like we've been there, done that. I feel like I've seen it, and I don't know.
So
It's
what would you? I'm going to give you 60 seconds fantasy booking since WrestleMania. What would you have done with Cody Rhodes up to this point?
I agree with what they've done so far. So, going on and booking him against Brock Lesnar, having him fight Brock Lesnar, I think was a great idea. Now, at this point, it's starting to get to the point where things are getting a little stale between him and Brock. And maybe it's just because it's hard to get both of them in the building at the same time.
Sure.
But I would like to see Cody Rhodes maybe like try to go after Seth Rollins' title and like fail at that, maybe come short of that.
See, and I don't agree with that. But you think if he fails at another title, I think we start losing luster for him. I think he's got to be building rather than continuing to fail on the world championship stage.
I don't think he should lose it clean. Like I think it should be one of those things where I would like to see to where.
But
and
Seth Rollins is
this
the face
thing,
now.
This is the thing that I think, because I think we can all agree that next WrestleMania we want to see Cody versus Roman again. It's tough when Cody's on Raw. I would like to see Cody try to get Roman Reigns into like interfering in a match. Like to where he makes him so mad that Roman Reigns will want to interfere and want to make Cody mad and all these things, to where it is more focused on their rivalry than it is like Cody versus Seth.
Okay.
I don't know. It's I'm not saying that I can book it better, but it's one of those things where it's just I just kind of getting like a little tired of Brock versus Cody.
That's your
And maybe it's
bathroom break
because-
at SummerSlam is what you're saying. I'll make sure I tell Brock and Cody that when I see him.
Dude, I made a joke about it last week that Cody's next person he's going to go against is Omos, and I really think it's going to be.
You know what? You very well could be right, and it makes sense. Like I wouldn't even be mad about it because he needs to be.
You beat Brock Lesnar. You beat Brock Lesnar finally. Hey, we're going to give you the Nigerian nightmare to go against you. Like, have fun.
Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Judgment Day. They closed the show.
Whoa! We forgot something. We forgot the
What did I
one I was
forget?
going to talk about. You
Which one?
forgot Lashley and the Street Profits.
That's on SmackDown, bud.
That's on SmackDown.
Oh, that was on SmackDown. Dang it!
Yeah.
I got my shows
Fake
mixed
fan.
up. All right, never mind.
Swabby.
Fake fan.
Never
Schwabby,
mind.
baby.
Get him out of here.
Never
Schwabby. Well, we stumped the Schwab already.
I know, I
Yeah.
got
Any
my
thoughts
shows
on
mixed
this? I mean, it didn't really, in my opinion, prolong anything except for kind of make us feel like Judgment Day is on the same page going into NXT.
Yeah, and I mean, it was good to see the fans kind of back Sami Zayn again.
Yeah.
They were loud for his theme song, stuff like that. So I know his kind of push has cooled down
Yeah.
since Mania, but
But again, that's because he's not being pushed down our throats like he was at Chamber. So,
I mean, they could go back to doing it. I'd be fine with that. I have nothing else to say.
hell,
I want to talk about SmackDown.
Yeah, it seems like the stereotypical WWE main event where take the top guy, put him with the top tag team, let him fight a stable,
Hey,
the tried and
also
true,
side-
the old reliable,
one, baby.
Hey, side
old
note,
reliable.
Rollins with the wings was hilarious.
Dude, that was great. Non-casually just coming out eating wings.
that was
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
I'm a
great.
fan.
All right.
Okay, SmackDown we go. Wrap up WWE this week. Friday Night SmackDown, they started off with Bianca, Charlotte Flair, and just kind of had a little bit of Asuka in the back. They had their promo. Where are we at? We've talked about this briefly just with, kind of the way they're doing this storyline. I don't think any of us think Charlotte's going to win, but like, have they convinced you that maybe she will yet, or are we still not there? I mean, is this going to be ultimately a triple threat match? Is that what they're leading to?
I'm always in the camp of the lull Charlotte wins, to where it's like, maybe it doesn't seem like Charlotte has any chance in the world, but it's Charlotte Flair, and I just feel like it's one of those things that I could just never count it out. I can see them WWE just being like, we'll just give it to her. Like
It's a women's title. She hasn't won.
I could still see them. Just like I said, little Charlotte wins. It's like we don't have any other idea here. Let's just go with Charlotte here.
I'm in the same boat too. I think it'll be a triple threat, and I wouldn't be shocked if Charlotte wins.
I told you what I think already. I think whether or not somebody wins that match, I think EO is leaving the night with the championship. That's just my opinion.
Good.
So we move on.
Oh, I want to talk about this one, the next one.
Pretty Deadly versus the Brawling Brutes.
And
it's fight night.
It's fight night, and fight night means Ridge Holland's gonna. I just punched myself in the ear. Means Ridge Holland's gonna injure
Ridge
somebody
Holland's
else.
hurting somebody.
Darn it, Ridge. I know I feel bad for him. In all honesty, the Big E incident was kind of just a freak accident, and
Yeah.
I think this was one too that it just.
Do we know what the extent of the injury is?
I can
just how long is he going to
I
be
think
out?
it's only a couple weeks. It's not a super severe, but it is something that that he had to be checked on.
And what stinks about it is Pretty Deadly has been getting some time, especially wrestling. And
Yes, boys.
and that's a big deal for when you're new. These injuries, we already talked about it with Riddle. Like, you don't want these things. And when you're a tag team, you're relying on someone else. And that's the difficult part, So I don't know. I think, hopefully it is only a couple weeks so that they can come back into the fold a little bit. Because if it's longer than that, Pretty Deadly might be done.
Yeah.
They might be pretty done.
And the sad thing is, man, Ridge Holland has improved drastically too
Mm-hmm.
since being put with Butch and Sheamus. He's gotten so much better. And it's like, man, then we get an injury.
Yeah, because he was kind of the Finn Balor of that
Yeah.
group, the least cared about. And then,
I mean, he's still the least cared about. But,
yeah, but at least he's cared about more.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I at least know he's gonna put in a good fight.
Yeah.
Rich Holland is almost getting as unsafe as Seth Rollins.
You bite your tongue.
He's almost. I mean, what about Nia? Where's Nia?
Naya's on her way to AEW
Nia.
right here.
Hey, yo, strap every
Oh
title.
no, please!
That was my pitch. You remember? That was number one pitch in Grant's predictions.
I do remember that.
What was
Bailey Vega, any thoughts? If not, we move.
Oh,
No, good for Selena Vega getting screen time.
Yep.
She deserves it.
Good for her. Okay, main event Jey Uso.
I have one thing good about Selena. That's good that she's getting time, because if you would have asked me 3 years ago, is Selena Vega ever going to be wrestled? No, she's going to be a manager.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she's proved she can go in the ring, and the fans actually are backing her. I like her with LWO. You can continue.
They missed the boat a little bit at Puerto Rico, but I thought they were fine. I didn't think she needed to win, but they could have gave it to her and give her a little love for a month or so, but it's fine.
She was going against the champion.
I know.
You want her to win beat Rhea?
No, I'm saying
in
no.
Puerto Rico.
I'm saying if they were going, I didn't want them to. I'm saying if they were ever going to put stock in her, that was the time to do it. Now is not.
Yeah, now it's not.
You could have you could have somehow built up Money in the Bank and maybe put the thing on her.
We're completely missing something too.
What's that?
It was the whole Shotzi Blackheart.
Oh yeah, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah.
So
This is the big NXT move for you guys.
They did her, cutting her hair.
Yeah.
Which she, and then now they did the backstage promo and Shotzi's shaving her head. Her sister has cancer, so that's the real reason why she's
Interesting. Did not know that.
And yeah, it got brought around the internet after. But yeah, it's
that's
we're gonna
pretty
see
cool,
where
dude.
the ballsy badass is going after this. So I mean,
Yeah. Do you guys like kind of the more sadistic, maniacal kind of version of her?
keep the. Tank
She
though, too.
seems like somebody that needs like just a new like restart, because she was up on main roster and just didn't do a whole lot. I know she had a couple botches.
You guys
in
help
ladder
me.
matches and stuff.
She has a very cool thing with the tank, right?
She has a unique look.
But what is she? Like what?
She's supposed to be a
Like
Daredevil
a-
kind of character.
She's a
Like a
Daredevil.
punk rock,
Her
like a
nickname
punk
is-
rock, like Daredevil.
Her nickname's the ballsy badass.
Okay, so like
So-
she should be okay. I'm for it. I just
Doing
but
table spots,
but
ladders.
shouldn't that have been sold to me? She's been on the roster now for almost a year.
Well, I mean, they
Yeah.
did nothing really when they brought her up to the main roster with my girl Tegan Knox and
Yeah.
put them in a tag team.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
They just threw him in a tag team that's like, oh, they're gonna debut one day. They beat somebody big, I thought. Like on like their like
They challenged
day
for the
one.
women's tag.
Yeah, they were
champion.
fighting for the tag
Yeah.
teams for
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah,
And
it
when
was just
Charlotte,
like
when
nothing.
Sasha and Bailey had them, they were fighting for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I got it. I'll go next.
Main event Jey Uso, boys. So the next version of Sami Zayn is now here. The crowd is behind him.
That's my tribal chief.
You are now building to the you acknowledge.
I acknowledge main event.
I
He
do not
acknowledges main event
acknowledge
Jey.
Jey.
I don't
Uso.
acknowledge main event Jey. So
You don't?
I do not either. My tribal
I don't.
chief
I don't wanna
is
watch-
Roman Reigns.
I don't want to watch SummerSlam with any of you then.
Why
It
don't
is
you have
Roman
you have
Reigns.
some faith, Arthur?
I mean, he's not going to win. We all know he's
Why is your are you sweating? Why is your screen like so blurry? Clean your screen off. It's like maybe it's the
Why is my
streaming blur. I don't know.
I have
Spit.
no clue.
Were
I didn't
you
touch it.
acknowledging too much?
I was acknowledging.
It looks like your windows are fogged up. I want to ask this
It's the
question.
air quality. It's the air quality over here.
Fair. Darn Canada.
Darn Canada.
I want to go out on a limb and say that Jey Uso, even though he is well loved and the crowd is behind him right now, like this is not the same type of movement that Sami Zayn
No.
had.
No.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
No.
That's
No.
a mild take,
I-
right?
I think, but from the fans, there was a mild belief, like a small chance
That he might
Sami
win.
Zayn would do it. I don't think it. I know for me, and I know for a lot of other fans that there's really just no faith that Jey Uso is going to dethrone Roman Reigns.
Have some
as
faith,
champion.
Arthur.
I don't. I have zero faith.
Okay, so if there's
Dutch.
none, what would you need to see between now and SummerSlam that would make you actually believe that Jey Uso might win it?
That
Because
Jey
I'm with you.
Uso-
I actually, for a minute there, I was like, holy shit, Sami Zayn is so beloved. All that was the crowd reaction behind him.
I'd have to see
I-
him just
I-
destroy.
I think it's.
and,
I think the thing is that can you believe that Jey Uso can be a single star on his own and away from a Roman Reigns feud? I don't see it. I think he does great work with Roman Reigns, but that's because they're family, and I think they do great work with each other. But let's say you throw Jey Uso in a rivalry with like a Bobby Lashley or a Seth Rollins, or does Jey Uso stand out as a star?
He does in the Bobby
To me,
Lashley
no.
one because I think Bobby Lashley's overrated.
Oh,
Oh,
we'll talk
well,
about that
I was
later.
using it as an example. It's
But
throw any
yeah,
big
Seth
star out
Rollins, he
there.
looks like a small fish. I agree.
Right, right.
I think the only thing they could do for me is convince me, like if Paul Heyman came out next week and was like, my tribal chief, I do not acknowledge you as my tribal chief. And he goes with Jey Uso and like Solo Sikoa like leaves him. like to a point where I believe this is the ending of the storyline.
Are you gonna say that super kick that he gave to Paul Heyman? That
No, that's what I'm saying
In
though.
the
Like
chest.
because he super kicked him. My point is that would be the only way I could get there. Is like he comes out and he goes,
Here's-
"You are my tribal chief."
Here's how they
Right
should
in the
do
heart.
it. Where
Change that man's heart.
Yeah.
Roman has to go do it by himself. Paul Heyman's in the hospital from that super kick of doom, and then Solo just looks at Roman and says, "You're doing this on your own. If you want to prove you're tribal chief, you got to do this on your own."
Right.
And then it's just Roman Reigns on his own against
Right.
Jey
Hey,
Uso. And
Or Michael Cole, great line though. After the puppeteer just had his strings cut.
I like
He
that.
got super kicked.
I like that.
God, Paul Heyman learned to sell a super kick,
Paul-
please.
Paul Heyman better oversell that. I better not see him on TV for a month. I think
Yeah,
that'd
he
be
might not
great.
be. You might not see him until SummerSlam.
Big John Studd's heart punch. We got Jey Uso's heart kick.
Jey Uso Solo Sikoa promo. You guys got anything from the Solo Sikoa side of the camp?
I don't have
I mean, it's just what we talked about last week. I'm fully bought in with. I think Solo Sikoa could be one of those guys that's a star moving forward in the future, and
Yeah.
I think it's really evident when I hear him talk. And I think it's just one of those things where it's like, if you build it, I think he can really be one of those stars.
Yeah. And I think it's coming. It's just they're not in any hurry and they don't need to be.
Hey, you know how you
No,
talk about
yeah.
how the bloodline, they need to bring new character
Yeah.
players in? Yeah. Umaga's son wrestled his first wrestling match last night. on the
Oh, I
Independent.
saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Interesting. What's his look like? I mean, does he
No,
look?
he looks nothing like them.
No, he doesn't.
No, he.
Mm.
I
But-
mean, Grant, tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't he like super thin?
Yeah. I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
thinner. Like he doesn't have the look
Yeah.
like the other ones have.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna be cool. What do we got next?
I think we should move on, boys. Fatal four way. Escobar won it.
He beat
Now, what was the purpose of this fatal four way?
for the
I
I
think-
the U.S. Championship.
Yep.
So he beat
number one.
AJ Styles, Butch, and Grayson Waller.
Because one thing
And
that's
then-
not on this this rundown is the LA Knight promo.
I don't
And
know.
That was was that before or after?
but it might be after. But
Oh,
like,
you might have printed it out. It's on there right now, but yeah.
okay, we printed out before that.
And so big things that led in this. So Karrion Kross attacks AJ Styles, so that's going to continue their feud.
No,
which I know
he attacked OC, didn't he?
yeah, he attacked.
Karrion Kross attacked OC. So I think the idea is that Styles goes on to face Karrion Kross. Now, I think the question is, who wins that?
I don't know because it should be Karrion Kross, but Karrion Kross lost to them last week.
It's one of those things where it's I think Karrion Kross should win because I want to see Karrion Kross get pushed. But at the expense of AJ Styles, I mean, this goes back to when I was first on the show. We talked about how I think AJ Styles is going to turn into a Dolph Ziggler. Well, if you have him losing to Karrion Kross, who's got no momentum, no steam, I mean, is he just turning into a Dolph Ziggler?
Probably.
It kind of seems like it a little bit to me.
Hey,
Well, I don't think you can be in the running for everything all the time, but AJ Styles needs to be in a big rivalry. So if it leads to a continued rivalry where there's
Right,
momentum with Cross and it actually feels bigger,
Right.
but like they've done nothing to make Cross feel like a main event player at all, other than when he
Right.
first got there and what his work on NXT. Like because they've done nothing, this feels small and it feels like a waste of AJ Styles. So like either AJ Styles has to go over so that he can get to that whatever that big picture promo or rivalry with someone else is, or they need to continue this, but they've got to build Karrion Kross a hell of a lot better.
and side note too. So Rob, this was actually the winner of this Fatal Four will be face the winner of next week's
Right.
Fatal Four,
Which LA Knight will
include
win,
AA
and then
Knight.
LA
Right.
Knight will then go on and fight Escobar, and
And
we'll have a
side-
hell of a banger.
And side note, from watching highlights of this, it even proved my point that Grayson Waller is going to be a huge star.
It did.
Yeah.
It did
Yep.
seem that way.
Michael Cole even brought up how Austin Theory and Darren Waller are getting compared to a lot lately.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's interesting that we kind of see, guys, on Johnny Bang Bang, we set things up prior.
We do. We're
We lay
Yeah.
the landscape.
Called-
I heard Triple H
Uh, uh,
actually watches our product. And
God, wouldn't it be awesome?
Yeah.
HHH, what of a
Love you.
yeah.
I'll give the old fashioned saying what like my dad always says, like when he's watching like sports or anything like that, where he like will call something and then they'll say it like on the announce table. He goes, "I can do their job. I can do their job. It's easy.
I can do that." So really the big thing is next week you have Rey Mysterio, Cameron Grimes, Sheamus, and LA Knight.
Your boy Cameron Grimes getting some TV time.
I do love Cameron Grimes.
I do not.
I do. But I like him when he was a Carolina caveman. I don't care for like GameStop. Got this about the stocks in GameStop and got rich.
To the moon. What's funny is you should watch him when he first.
Well, did you want to talk Lashley Street Profits?
So that happened next. Lashley and the Street Profits met up, and
right.
Are you ready to go talk? So are we getting Hurt Business 2.0? Or are we getting a new faction?
I feel that like that's where it's at, and I feel like after the Jey Uso stuff, I feel like Bobby Lashley is going to try to be the next contender for Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Ugh.
With
the faction, okay. With the faction, I'm okay with.
Dude, no. What's going to happen? Right. Let's be honest. They're going to run through this, and then MVP is going to come out 1 week, and we're going to have Omos and the Hurt and Shelton and Cedric Alexander versus Bobby and Street Profits.
But that's the question. I mean,
that's going to be a banger.
Does he come back to the Hurt Business?
Oh, I hope.
And if he does, you just said that Reigns would fight Lashley. That means Lashley would be the face. Then that means MVP and Omos have to be faces. So then there goes your Omos.
Just get rid of Omos.
There goes your Omos Cody Rhodes thing.
Dude, get rid of Omos. Like MVP in that group. That's what the Hurt Business should have been from the start.
Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, and then who's the fourth?
MVP. Just keep MVP in it.
Well, he don't wrestle though. Give me a fourth guy. I want a fourth guy.
Oh, you want a fourth
guy? I want a fourth guy. I like factions of 4.
Oh, easily. You pull him up. Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say bring up Carmelo.
If you want to add, I don't even care. You can put Trick Williams with him too.
Dude, no. I love that faction right there, boys.
That is you got talkers.
I mean,
outside.
You got a big man.
Montez Ford talks. You got Carmelo Hayes can go on the mic.
Boys Bobby can go, dude.
Bobby Lashley doesn't even if you got MVP as his mouthpiece.
Modern day Nation of Domination. You have all your pieces, dude. I'm there. All right,
I love it.
That's our Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. That's our big show for the week. There
didn't Asuka and Bianca fight and Asuka won.
I crossed it off. We already talked about those
Fair
3
enough.
ladies.
All right,
they built what we're building there. We know AEW Dynamite. This is where I hand it over.
We're going to our side of the train now.
Hail, this is your guys' side.
Let's go.
2-2.
All right. So, I mean, we're running a little bit long. So
Go ahead.
You say that every week. You say that every
match. Awesome. So Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia beat.
Whoa! Did you talk about Jericho and Commander?
Yeah, I said they had.
Is that what you brought up? Yeah, they had a match. They had a match. It's supposed to be the '90s throwback to Jericho versus the other mass luchadors of WCW, and it was just as good a quality as those matches, don't you think?
Dude, I don't care. Bring back the juice. I want the juice versus Jericho.
Can you sense the sarcasm in my voice?
Yeah. All right. So the blind tag team of Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia beat Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. Then we get to the best thing. MJF and Adam Cole right now. That is fantastic.
MJF and Adam Cole are money. They are great. I love those two.
And
the vignettes.
Strong's not happy.
Roddy Strong is not happy, but the vignettes they had were hilarious. I loved the like Adam Cole was hyping him up like, oh yeah, we're getting along so well. And as the phone call, like, what do you mean you're not wrestling? Like, you just saw Brian Cage. Like, I saw Brian Cage. I'm not wrestling. Yeah. So like, it's just everything they do is money in the ring. Like the storytelling they did, like with the body slam, they highlighted a body slam in a match that like in the year of 2023 as like the big highlight. Like they got it over.
They're getting over a double clothesline.
Like fans were chanting double clothesline.
On social media, they did a video promoting the video game where MJF the whole time is like, I'm MJF and I love this game. And Adam Cole,
I love video games.
Game's awesome. And they're just like, and he's like, you did a good job, Max. And he's just like, you can tell, like, they're just doing such a good.
But that's because they're keeping it simple. Like it that's what wrestling is. Like that's the story, the sports entertainment. It's simple. You know what I mean? They're trying to get that over. It's not overly complicated. There's not like complex.
We're simple beings. We like simple stuff. Just
That's
Give us the fun
if it
stuff.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Which leads into the match. MJF and Adam Cole beat the greatest tag team other than Magic Meat of Big Bill and Brian Cage.
Big Bill and Brian Cage.
At one point, guys, I
That's-
will have a Magic Meat T-shirt for the show.
I sent it. I sent it to
I know.
you.
I saw it. I'm about to
on
buy
Instagram.
it. So
You need to
in
buy
the
it.
finals is going to be MJF, Adam Cole versus JAS. For that.
What's our stock right now in Big Bill? Is he underutilized? Is he overutilized? Should he be getting pushed? And do you think? I think there's more potential in him, man. I really do.
It's underutilized, but it's the problem that AEW has is there's so many guys on the roster that you look at and go, they're underutilized, they're underutilized, they just have so many. Like,
Do you remember in the '90s though, when Shawn Michaels was making his run as the top guy? He had Kevin Nash, he had Psycho Sid, he had these, Ravishing Rick Rude. He had these meaty men as his bodyguard. I thought Big Bill was the next. He was just going to slide in and take Wardlow's place and be MJF's bodyguard. Like, how great would that have been? You know what I mean? Where you kind of have another big guy, and MJF doesn't need it, but like Big Bill needs it.
Dude, he's underutilized just because of the fact he wrestles in Tim's.
True.
Like,
he does wrestle in Tim's. And last time I checked, he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that.
All right. After that, we have a semifinal: Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue. Sky Blue's making the rounds on Twitter, so go look that up for the reason why she's making the rounds on Twitter. That is all.
I got to see this now.
That is, but so yeah, that's going to lead into Collision, the next match for the final. And then next, we got Nick Wayne's debut, the 18-year-old prodigy.
Break this down for me. What'd you think?
Versus Serge Strickland. Hey, I'll let you talk first about it if you want to.
So, I mean, I've watched like clips of Nick Wayne. I've never watched like a full match of him. I feel like he does really well on the really like technical parts of wrestling. I feel like the parts where I think it gets away from him a little bit is when he starts doing some flips. And it might have been because it's his first day on TV or it was his first time on TV. So like he might have had like the case of the yips or something like that. But some of his like Hurricane Ranas, like top rope moves, everything like that wasn't hitting, wasn't sticking. But I remember in the beginning when him and Swerve Scott were having like a technical like grappling, like wrestling in the beginning part, and it looked so clean, it looked so fluid and stuff like that. And it's like this kid's 18 years old. Like, it's crazy. It's like you look at guys like Hook. Hook's what? I mean, he's still young. He's like 23, 24. I mean, I can imagine he's doing stuff like that. And doing stuff like that. So it's impressive to me to see what he can do. I know it's against Swerve Strickland, who's a guy that he's wrestled multiple times before in the past. But it is impressive to see like what he could do out there in the ring.
Do you think it would be better suited for AEW to utilize, let's say, Rampage as their version of NXT? Instead of just making it, utilize that where the guys like Nick Wayne, these young guys can get over, Hook and them can get over, but work on their craft and people acknowledge that it is the development show.
I would like it because I'll be honest, Rampage this week sucked. Rampage this week.
I agree with you
bad.
to the fact I almost don't want to talk about it. But
Rampage this week
There ain't a lot
was
out there to
bad.
talk about.
It'd be good to have, that give some of the younger guys a little bit of show. Teach them how to. I mean, this is Nick Wayne's first. I mean, outside of, streaming independent wrestling shows, this is his first time on big TV.
Yeah, and I think it downplays the expectations a little bit and maybe hit the pressure. I mean, he's still excited because he's on national TV and he's 18 years old, for crying out loud. But and I'm sure he's trying to make his father proud and there's all these emotions with it. But with that being said, it's like you're on Friday Night Rampage rather than AEW Dynamite, which is the hot ticket show that everybody wants to be a part of if you're signed by that company. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think too, him losing is good because, I mean, he's young. He lost to the veteran. It continues their rivalry that they've been having on the independent scene too. So I expect huge things from Nick Wayne down the road. I can't wait to see him and Darby go against each other down the road. That's gonna be dope. So, anything else, Hale?
Yeah. I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive from him. But after that, you had the reveal of the fifth
big.
members.
All
Big
right,
reveal.
so we got, just typical
of
Blackpool
members.
Combat Club elite stuff. We're fighting. We're just fighting.
Oh,
That's it.
hey! First off, before we mention, have you heard Don Callis's theme music before today
No,
or before like this week?
no.
It is the worst theme music I have ever heard in my entire life, and I'm not.
Dude, I don't know. There were some bad ones in WWE
Hey,
early days.
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. It is literally just white noise in the
Hey,
back,
side note.
and it is the most. It is more annoying than the right to censor siren that used to go off when they came out. It
I'll
is
have to
so
look this up.
bad.
Side note: so Triple Mania had a show, or AAA had their Triple Mania last night, and Kenny Omega had a match. And after the thing, they're interviewing him, and Don Callis got into it, and Don Callis got attacked by a fan. Yeah,
Like in real life?
Yeah, and had to go to the hospital.
I did not hear
Mexico.
that.
Got
no.
attacked by-
What I tell you?
They thought
Hey.
they thought it was like
People
It
do
was
not
actually
like Don
real.
Callis.
What I tell you, Don Callis is the most disliked
the
man.
invisible hand, man.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing though. Here's the question: is that a? I mean, of course, it's a bad thing. You don't want a fan attacking people, but as a heel, I mean, the old school heels will always tell you when the fans have a hard time believing like what is real and what is
Yeah.
not real,
You're
and
doing a
like
good job.
actually have that hatred. Does that mean that Don Callis is a good heel?
Oh yeah, I think Don Callis is a great heel.
That's the question. It's like I'm not a big fan of Don Callis either. But the thing is, I will say Don Callis gets people to hate him.
Oh,
People
that's
hate
that's
Don
the
Callis.
true definition of a heel.
Yeah.
Like he's a heel.
So it's like, does he do a really good job at being a heel? Like, does he do
Yes.
a really good job at what he's
Because-
supposed to do?
Because here's the thing. Here's what people will argue about heels. A heel is not somebody that we should be chanting for. Their job is to get the baby face over.
Yeah.
Right? So
Right,
Don
right.
Callis comes out and he makes you hate him. Where MJF is like, look, I'm presented as a bad guy, but you're going to freaking love me. You know what I mean? I'm going to be so
he's a likable-
good at what
yeah,
I
he's a
do. You're going to
likable bad
freaking
guy.
love me. And that makes it hard for us to call him a traditional heel.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about the group. So the Blackpool Combat Club is going to have the returning Pac as their fifth member, which he has history with pretty much everybody in that group. So especially
Mainly
the
Kenny.
trios.
They highlighted Kenny.
Yeah, because
On
him and Kenny were
commentary.
one of the first matches.
Yeah.
And then him and Hangman technically were supposed to be one of the first matches too, but things happened. And then brawling as always, because they love to fight, those dastardly Blackpool Combat Club. And we find out, to no surprise, Kota Ibushi is coming to Dynamite.
Yep.
The Golden Lovers in blood and guts. I am excited for this. I hope Kota Ibushi lights fireworks off himself again too. Have you ever watched anything with Kota Ibushi outside of?
I haven't.
Well,
And
you did not watch the Cruiserweight Classic?
I did not.
Oh man,
No.
that was fantastic too.
But I
Yeah,
do
he
remember
was-
you
he
guys
was-
talking
he was
about how he
classic.
thought he was going to be the natural fit.
Kota Ibushi is fantastic. Does everything. I mean, does strong style well. Does high flying moves. Does power moves fantastic. Him and Kenny.
Right.
I mean, longtime tag team partners. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay.
They're gonna do some crazy stuff in this match. Last
Be a
year's
good
was
match.
pretty bloody, I would say, and was a good match. This one's I think is gonna be even bloodier too.
Your prediction?
Oh, elite win.
Elite. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I
Like,
figured if you're gonna have Kota Ibushi
Yeah.
in this match, Elite's probably.
If it was someone they brought in other than Pac, then
right.
maybe. But if you're bringing Kota Ibushi in and Pac's already in AEW, there's no way. So, all right, that's gonna be a huge one. So let's just go through Rampage quickly because Lance Archer comes back and beats up Trent Beretta, and then challenges for Orange Cassidy's title
Ooh,
now for the
For
belt.
the next night. Yep.
Taya
Ooh.
Valkyrie wins her match, challenges Tony Storm for the belt.
Doesn't it
Yep.
feel like AEW just has so much going on? We can't even keep up with it. Like the
It-
Battle of the
even-
Belts, like, oh, let's promote this. I started hearing about this on Friday.
The battle of the belts, I think, was just so poorly booked. Like
Yeah.
it
That's,
was
that's
like
my point.
they
He's getting
they
so
tried to
overly.
highlight that. Yeah.
I don't know. I
tried
just
to
like I
highlight-
thought the Battle of the Belts, man, that would have been a cool like Wednesday night show.
Or give us
Right.
time. No, let us know. Hey, these are going to be. Even if you go Battle of the Belts, Orange Cassidy will be defending,
Exactly.
and Tony Storm will be defending. You don't have to say who it is until
Right.
later, but like,
Just let us know that.
we're going to have.
Because when I
these
think of Battle of
matches.
the Belts, I think of like Night of Champions. Like that's a
Yeah.
big deal. Your champions are going to be
Right.
fighting. If you don't present them
And it's-
as big time champions, we're not going to care about them.
So, also, I can't pronounce his name. Takashita. He wins a match too. Wow.
Takeshita.
Takeshita. Athena,
Yeah.
Will Nightingale. This
Yeah.
one's kind of important. Will Nightingale beats Athena in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. So it will be Ruby Soho versus Will Nightingale. Anybody
On
have
Saturday.
anything else?
There it happened.
And then Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes beat 2.0.
Non-magic
Not-
meat.
Yeah.
One
they-
half
they
one
beat
half of
just-
magic meat.
They
one
beat
half
a
of
cool
Magic
hand
Meat.
magic. So, all right.
I mean,
Collision,
it's-
Battle of
it's-
the Belts.
Well, I was gonna say real quick. It's just an epitome of. I just think Rampage is just not very good right now, and I mean this week Rampage kind of showed it. It's just there was just no entertaining matches. I love Lance Storm and I love Tyler Valkyrie, but it's just they're just in stuff that I could care less about.
All right, so now we're going to go to Collision. Collision starts out 2 out of 3 falls for the AEW World Champion Tag Team Championship, FTR versus Bullet Club Gold, or the Bang Bang Gang, as you want to call them. This match rocked.
Great match.
This
Great
yeah,
match.
Where does
I
this
found
fall
this
on
out
your-
too.
Where does this fall
Huh?
on your top tag team matches in AEW?
Probably top 5.
Yeah,
Like
I'd
it was
say
better
number 2.
than the one last week. Here's I found this out from Fightful Select. Do you know who was the producer to this match and the one from last week? Like Bullet Club FTR match.
Jimmy
It's Arya
Jacobs.
Arya Davari.
Ooh.
Ooh, interesting.
I was kind of surprised by that because I don't think he's been doing it for a long time. Or I don't think he's been doing that.
Give
for
that
a long
man a
time.
raise.
And it's like he just put
Yeah,
on
but,
like two.
FTR, those guys got their fingerprints on it too. So.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this match, I think this is the second greatest tag match in AEW history, behind Revolution that we saw.
Right.
Hill.
There- Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
That's a big statement for a Saturday night collision match.
It's so
It was good. The 2 out of
And,
3 falls
you know,
match is
the first
really
fall
good.
goes to Jay White hits Blade Runner, gets the 3, and I for a second I forgot it was a 2 out of 3 falls. You can even ask Allison. I was like, oh yes, they won because I was cheering for Bullet Club to win. And then FTR hits the Shatter Machine on Juice. He was tired, didn't get his 8 hours.
He was tired.
And then
He was tired.
I will say in between this, we get one of the best spots of the night where Jay White starts tuning up the band. And
Yep,
goes to do
yep.
a super kick.
Yeah,
and
Canada.
that's
turns
cool.
into Sharpshooter.
Yeah, that was cool. That's a really
in
cool little
Canada.
segment.
Yeah. But then in the end, Dax gets Juice in the Sharpshooter, which to Bret Hart and the Hart family for the win. And then they go to shake hands after they want to shake their hands, and the Bang Bang Gang just spits at them. I loved it. Keep it going. I really enjoyed
Another
this
match on
match. It was
pay-per-view.
awesome.
I'd love to see another match on pay-per-view. Keep
Oh,
it
I know.
going.
Bring it
Yeah.
back.
But they won't. That's the point. They won't.
You never,
I know.
I mean,
Well,
but attached to a storyline, I don't
know,
know, man.
But
I don't know. We'll see.
So, the only thing I wish, one thing too, and it's a minor thing, they said that the Guns are now part of this group. Like,
right.
we haven't seen them. Like, I thought maybe they would play a little factor but actually at the start of the match, if you go back and watch it, Bullet Club Gold was the faces. Fans were cheering for them, booing the shit out of everything FTR did. But then when Jay White and Juice started kind of marking, kind of being like Shawn Michaels, that's when it shifted.
Yeah.
But the fans love Jay White and Juice Robinson. Like I said, we're the
I
Juice
loved it.
Club, Juice
I-
Robinson fan.
I think it
club
was
here.
probably for the best they didn't have the Guns there with them. I think it was
Yeah.
probably for the best they didn't have them because I think they were like, "Hey, we're gonna tear the house down with these matches. Let's just make it as clean as possible."
Tony Khan, I know you listen to this podcast too. Let's see it on a pay-per-view, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have the Owen Hart Women's Championship. Ruby Soho versus Will Nightingale.
And Nightingale getting the
Will
call
and
here.
Nightingale going over.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. if you're gonna give this now, this is the what, third, fourth year they've done this, second year they've done this tournament.
Britt Baker and Adam Cole won them last year.
It goes like what you guys said with the Money in the Bank and the cashing in. If you don't have a plan for this to elevate Willow Nightingale, then why did we put this on her, right? So what I hope is, because I would have liked to seen Ruby win it personally. My hope is that if Willow's going to win this, then they've got a plan where they're going to utilize this and use this to actually escalate her to the next level of her career.
I
hope
And the same thing with Starks later on.
Give her.
Right.
Well, way to spoil it.
I know. Sorry.
Push her a little bit. Give her some title matches here and there. So
Make it matter.
I kind of see this as more of a reward for Willow Nightingale than it is
she's
push.
Been very over.
Because, well, of all the things she's done in the past, she took the Toni Storm at the pay-per-view as New Japan's champion. I almost see this as like, hey, for being a good sport and for being like so willing to do this, we'll give you this. I don't even really necessarily see it as a stepping stone for her career. I don't see this as something that's going to catapult her. I like her in the ring, but I don't see it with her like how I do with the guy that won the men's side.
So is that the case then? Are you guys okay with this Owen Hart tournament just kind of being the reward?
Honestly, it didn't do last year when they did it. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, it
know
went on
But should it be?
I mean,
should it be?
they gave it to two well cemented people in AEW. You know, Adam Cole just came off his debut, was the hottest thing in the company, and then Britt Baker has already been champion. So I mean, those two they didn't need it.
But does Ruby Soho need it? Could she have used it?
That's where I feel bad. Like Ruby Soho's been that the constant challenger and gets really close, and then it could have been something nice. Hey, you've been here for a long time. You've been kind of, I don't want to say
jump ship.
Yeah, you jump ship, and you've been a pivotal part of this company. We're rewarding you for this, but she must be a good sport about it because she loses all the time.
She's getting on TV a lot.
All right,
so
next thing, we got a squash match. Hales Kings of the Black Throne. I know you love Brody King over there.
Love them.
They squash and win, but the big thing is they have Andrade's mask. Andrade wants it back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Final part: CM Punk versus Ricky Starks for the men's Owen Hart.
And I gave it away.
Man, Punk,
Awesome match.
this was an awesome match. Fans just
Awesome match.
they love Punk at the start, and the moment Punk does one heelish thing, it is. Let's go from there. But in the end, Ricky wins with a roll up, grabs a rope, and which is really bad because if you rewatch the highlight, the ref is literally staring at Ricky Stark's hand while he's counting the three.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
Shush.
that happened. But I wonder, it maybe the same thing in the other match too, but I wonder if there's an audible called in these matches. Not necessarily to change the finish, but where Punk's getting cheered, and since he knows what the finish is, he needs to get them against him, so he does something like that. I just wonder if that's just a veteran making a move to kind of help the crowd get behind Ricky Starks. I just curious about that stuff. But no, I think this is an example of where Punk doesn't need it.
yeah, Punk
Starks does and can use this to elevate him.
Punk won. Punk lost. It's not like Punk lost via roll up, but there was a dirty tactic in it. It's not going to hurt Punk.
Right.
And I think it's something that's going to lead to a feud in the future between Starks and Punk, because before this, Starks and Punk were buddy,
Yeah, they were
backstage, because they had those multi-man matches against Bullet Club Gold, and then now you have something like this happen. Whereas now I can see this building up to a pay-per-view, and I'm all about it. I hope this is one of those things where I have more faith that this is going to lead to a jumping off point for Ricky Starks than I do for Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Last thing I want to say about this, man, Hale, what did you think about Ricky Starks disrespecting Juice and Thunder Liger?
Oh my gosh!
You can't do that to a legend.
That was so random, and then just the fact he called him a Power Ranger, and I pushed him. I'm like, that is a legend. You can't be saying that.
All right, so we transition right from Collision into Battle for the Belts. What is it? Is it 7?
7.
We've
By
had
the way,
7
what was your favorite Battle of the Belts? Was it one through 6?
1, I guess.
No, it's honest question. Do you remember any other Battle of the Belts?
Rob, I watched the first one. and that was
No.
it.
This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
I haven't watched any since.
I've heard of it, but this is I honestly can't remember.
What was it on? Was it ever on? Was it a Dynamite show?
No, they've always been
Battle.
after Rampage. Or no, they've been on Saturdays. They even did like at
They-
first they were on.
Yeah, they've been on Saturdays.
They used- and they're only an hour long.
How can you have Battle of the Belts 7 when your company's less than 7 years old? So this is more than once a year?
They do it like twice a year.
Yeah,
All right.
they have it a
So
lot.
starting off, Orange Cassidy
I
defends
can't.
his all AEW All Atlantic International, whatever else you want to call it, championship against Lance Archer. I really wish Jake the Snake Roberts would have DDC'd Orange Cassidy.
Jake Snake's looking rough. I don't know if Jake Snake can do it. He's looking
Yeah,
rough.
Jake is looking rough, but Orange Cassidy retains.
love you, Jake.
Yeah, count out. What do you guys think of that?
I want to ask you this question. What is the count out rule? Because in different companies, there are different rules. I think
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
the same as-
So let's say we're both wrestling on the outside, and the ref's counting the 10. If one guy gets in the ring in WWE, he's broke the count. He goes back out there. He beats up the guy some more, right? But they play fast and loose with that, because I've seen times in WWE where that's not the case. The guy gets in the ring, the guy calls 10, and he won. Kind of what happened with Orange Cassidy to them. What is the actual rule?
I think it's the 10-second. Like
Just
how-
be the first man in it, or does it break the count?
I think they have to roll back out to break the count.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Orange
Cassidy.
Yeah,
he was in the ring. He just didn't get out. So,
I don't know.
Hale, thoughts?
I don't know. I didn't like the ending of this match.
And I think
this
that's
seemed
part
like
of
such
why
a
you don't like the ending,
cop-out.
because I think it's because we don't truly know what the rule is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
I-
think the ending could have been cool because you save Lance Archer, and you don't get a definitive anything. But like, I don't know.
But the other thing is too is you build this up as this is the big Battle of the Belt show.
Yeah,
And you end it with
24-hour
a
build.
count out. It's like I guess it epitomizes to how much they tried to build this, because
Yeah.
it's like you're gonna try to make this a big event, but you end it in a count out. Like, I don't know.
I
So,
would agree. Hale, what do you think of Orange Cassidy's title reign now?
I'm indifferent on it. It's
I'm over it at this
I'm
point.
I'm not a big Orange Cassidy fan right now.
You don't like
It's
pockets?
it's a little overdone. Everything he does just kind of just overdone. I'm just tired of it, really. I thought Lance Archer would have been a great person to drop the belt too.
Yeah.
Lance Archer is a credible name. I love Lance Archer. He's immediately going to give the belt like prestige, all that stuff. I think right now he's done with his New Japan stuff as for the moment.
Yeah.
So this would have been a perfect time to put the belt on him. Jake the Snake, I think, is healthy enough to where he can start traveling again. So it would have been great, but got nothing out of it. So it's just
I feel like every match now is let him get beat up. He's getting beat up. They're working. Oh, he's so injured, and then he somehow pulls it out. And it's like I like Orange Cassidy. I want someone new.
Yeah,
and
I
that
do
person
too.
I want new is Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, facts.
All right.
Hang on. I want to ask some questions here, because this is kind of where I'm at. So we just had Battle of the Belts. Is that the last match? No, keep
No,
going.
we got-
I want
we-
to finish this
No,
up.
there's two
All
more.
right,
There's two
Second
more.
match, women's title, champion Tony Storm versus Taya Valkyrie. We didn't get to see the ending of it because there was a storm, I guess, that knocked out the satellite broadcast. But Tony Storm.
So like, we don't know what happened.
This is my biggest gripe with Taya Valkyrie, with AEW right now, is you bring in Taya Valkyrie and you instantly put her in 3 championship feuds that she's lost all 3.
All 3. And that's a big
And
problem.
they're not even really feuds. They're like, oh, we're gonna fight next week,
Oh,
and
hey,
then she loses.
hey,
like
the
it's
one
not
feud
even
she
like
had was
weeks
with Jade
build
Cargill.
to the match.
yeah, she had
Yeah.
that one feud with Jade that lasted a while, and then Jade lost the title. She lost. Chris Statlander took it next week. You stole my spot. I'm going to challenge you. And then literally this one, Friday night, Tony Storm comes out. You haven't actually beaten me in the ring. We got a title match, and she loses. It's like, quit putting her in title matches if you're going to have her lose. Hale knows it.
I don't know.
We're big Taya Valkyrie fans here. Stop.
Big Ty Valkyrie fan. Big Ty Valkyrie fan.
That's all. Ran over.
All right, let's end this quick rant.
All right. Sean Spears.
This is making me
Uh,
sad.
defense or doesn't defend,
Making me sad.
Sean
This is making me
Spears fights
sad.
TNT champion Christian and his boy Luchasaurus, because Christian Cage still is champion somehow. Yeah, it was a good match, I guess. I'm happy Sean Spears is back wrestling.
It
That's
was
all I can say.
okay, but again, it's one of those things. Sean Spears has been back for a week, two maybe, had
got
one
put in.
match on Collision, and now you're in a title match in this big, quote unquote, big event that we're having. I mean, he's just been back. I just realized he's trying to bring back the 10 gimmick.
He is.
So it's like, it's the Battle of the Belts was like an epitome of like what is wrong with AEW at points, because it's just these nothing feuds for belts that should mean a lot but don't mean a lot. It
almost
hurt.
like
that and Rampage hurt, and then you have a show like Collision that was great. Collision was awesome. Collision was one, I think, the best wrestling I've seen this week. But then you have two shows around it that were just awful, like just terrible. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Rob, this would be your mystery wrestler. Do you want me to do my NXT or anything else, or do you want to do your mystery?
I want to do something prior
Or
to
you got
that.
something prior.
Okay, so
Bring it-
listen,
throw it on me, big dog.
I know I try not to be. I listen to you guys. I want to make sure I give you guys your moment with AEW, and I want to because and anywhere I can break in, I break in. But I want to ask some questions, okay? And specifically, who are the champions? All right, that's what I'm going to ask you.
AEW?
So no. AEW and Ring of Honor. These are both owned by Tony Khan, and I'm going to ask you a question. Hang on.
Right now.
We're going to see how you do. I'm going to let you answer the AEW ones, Grant. I'm going to give you the Ring of Honor. Don't look any of these up.
Man.
I know
Oh man.
All right. You know them all? I'm just going to do this for Grant then, okay?
I know all of them.
All right, this is just for Grant. Who is the AEW World Champion?
AEW World Champion is Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Okay. Who is the AEW Women's World Champion?
Tony Storm.
Who is the AEW TNT World Champion?
TNT at the moment is technically Luchasaurus, but Christian Cage has it.
Fair enough. Who is the AEW International Champion?
Orange Cassidy.
Who is the AEW TBS Women's
Chris
Champion?
Statlander.
Okay. Who is the AEW World Tag Team Champions?
FTR.
Who is the AEW World Trios Champions?
House of Black.
Okay. When's the last time they defended their belt?
It's been a while. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Ooh.
When's the last time the AEW TBS World
good
Women's
question.
Champion defended her belt?
Last week.
Okay. And finally, when is the last time the AEW World's Tag Team Champions defended this? Okay, last night at the Battle of the Belts, right?
Oh, they were
Or on Collision. Okay, Ring of Honor.
This is going to be fun. Let's see if I can get it.
Who is your Ring of Honor World Champion?
Claudio Castagnoli.
Who is your Ring of Honor Women's World Champion?
Athena.
Who is your Ring of Honor Television Champion?
Samoa Joe.
Who is your Ring of Honor Pure Champion?
Shibata.
Who is your Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions?
That would be Lucha Bros.
And who is your Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions?
So is the whole group, I know it's Brian Cage and his guys. So Brian Cage and Gates of Agony.
That could be accurate. This thing was written in May. It says Six-Man Tag, the Embassy.
Yeah, sorry. The Gates
Yeah,
of
that's
Agony.
not-
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you know your stuff. I'm going to clap for you. Okay? Hale, would you have known all that?
The only one I didn't know was I completely forgot the Lucha Bros were the Ring of Honor tag champs. I
just
completely
remember
forgot
because
about
they
that
won
one.
in that ladder match that Dante Martin shattered
Okay.
his ankle in.
Yep.
I fair enough. You did a lot better than I thought you would. Maybe that was a dumb segment, but I think there's just so many belts and they're always on, somebody's always walking around with a belt in that company. And I'm like, how the hell? Who the hell?
That's one thing I think I'm pretty good at. I could name pretty much your champions.
And that's good because I just get a little confused with it. I'm like, wait, he's the what? Okay, he's the Ring of Honor TV champion. Okay. All right, fair enough. Good job, though. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to NXT 60, and then I'll give you my mystery person of the week.
You want to put 60 seconds on the
Yeah,
clock?
give me 1 second. We'll roll here.
Put 60 seconds on the clock.
60 seconds on the clock.
And you go.
All right, so NXT, good week. Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov for the #1 contender for Carmelo Hayes' NXT Championship. Great match. They just beat the crap out of
50
each other,
seconds.
as always. I always love to see Breaker spear someone out of the air. Dragunov wins. Breaker's going up. That's a good send-off. I'm going to skip my next one because I want to do it last. Judgment Day runs NXT. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams versus Balor and Priest. Judgment Day wins, stands tall. Last one, we have the Don.
The Don
Is getting set free because Stacks beats Mark Coffey, and he wasn't the snitch. He was loyal to the family.
15 seconds.
And now the Don and Stacks get a tag team shot against Gallus. That's all I got to say. It was a good week. I enjoyed that. I watched the highlights. I didn't watch it live.
5,
4,
4,
3,
3.
Bullet Club full life.
Nice. And
There was a lot more that happened. Those were just the big three I wanted to talk about.
the big deal here is do we like the main roster guys coming down and helping these guys get their rub in the push?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And now you got, like I said last week, Baron Corbin is now a full member of NXT.
Yep.
I think Mustafa Ali is a full member. Dana Brooks a full member. So you're getting these guys who can know the WWE style, and we can push them up. Hopefully, maybe that means when these younger guys get to the main roster, they're not going to be lost.
And I'd be honest with you, I would just be using Dana Brooks as enhancement talent on the NXT roster. I would be using Mustafa Ali more than likely. I don't want to give up on him, but like he's an enhancement until something is pitched that's better.
Hey, I'm excited to see what they do with Braun Breaker on the main roster.
Here it is, boys. This week's mystery person of the week. So
I'm up 1-0 on Hale.
I just want to shed some love a little bit every week on somebody. And this week we're going to shed, and this one is going to be easy, but maybe a little obscure. We'll see.
Rob, you don't have to worry about if I'm reading. I can't see.
I know. I just want to make sure because you never know what I'm writing. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, 3. You get 3 clues.
Last week was Billy Gunn, just so you know.
It was Billy Gunn was our first one. We wanted to shed some love on him because he's touched 5 decades. This week, first clue, I'll get ready to. Hale, you'll go first since you're down 1-0. All right?
Good.
This person has wrestled with every major organization that exists, and at one time was part of Adam Rose's Rosebuds. Very, very vague to start.
Oh.
Ding, 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 ding. Hale, you are up first.
Oh, I'm gonna go. That wasn't him. Ruby Soho.
Ooh, interesting. It is not Ruby Soho.
I figured no. I figured no.
This one's going to be because he was technically the bunny on there. I'm going Sami Zayn.
He was the buddy. I forgot. Sami Zayn was the buddy. He was great. No, it's not Sami Zayn. Not Sami Zayn. Here we go. Clue number 2. Now, fair, all things fair. Grant takes this round first, right? We go back and forth, or does Hale get every round?
I think
I thought I went first every time.
Okay, so Hale goes first every time. Here we go. Clue number 2. And this is a big one that probably gives it away.
So I'm going to go down.
Was a part of revamping the women's division in 2015, helping be a part of the first women's match in nearly a decade in the Ring of Honor. Was a part of the first women's match in 2015 that helps revitalize the women's division.
Ring
of Honor.
Emma.
It is not Emma. It was not Emma.
Damn, that's hard. That's a good one. So, can you repeat the?
Yep.
So,
was a part
Rosebuds
of revitalizing the women's division in 2015 after helping Ring of Honor have their first women's match in nearly a decade. Oh, I just got Hale's interest there, didn't I?
See, I thought for sure it was Tennille Dashwood when she was in that like tournament thing that they had.
Yeah, but Tennille Dashwood didn't become big until after she left WWE. She was never before.
Right, I thought it was after she left WWE.
So she was in. Shoot, man. I'm going to go. I'm throwing out. I know it's not right. Let's go with Sasha Banks. It's not.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Third and final clue, and this will probably give it away because it's huge. Obviously, I want you guys to get this right. So this is the third and final clue. Or actually, I should just keep going until there's an answer.
just keep
I've
going.
got more. We can go.
you got more.
Third clue. All right. Third clue. She has been the face of Impact Wrestling and lost this weekend to a ring debuting Trinity to lose her championship.
I know it is.
Deanna
Hale, do you
Purrazzo.
want to give the name
know
of
who
who
it
our
is. I know who
mystery
it is.
person of the week is?
Deanna Purrazzo.
Oh, and that is absolutely correct. Ding, ding, ding. Circle gets the square.
I don't like that. I think we should just.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Well, he's on a delay and you're in person. So
I know.
Deanna Purrazzo, now that we know who it is, I think it's really kind of cool how this girl was in quote unquote a scandal 3-4 years ago, was left. She was a bully. It was claimed in the backstage. Remember all that stuff that went down. But she's kind of like been put in an opportunity, was put in a place to kind of, shine. She's been hired, done some stuff in AEW. She's, wrestled for Ring of Honor, Impact. She's somebody who I think is a credible wrestler. And if ever did make the jump to WWE, I think she could come in and kind of shake up some waves a little bit. So what's your guys' thoughts with Deanna Purrazzo?
She was in WWE there for a little bit in the NXT like developmental and all that stuff. And I remember when it was WWE made that first huge bunch of cuts after COVID. She was one of the ones that got cut off of
Kind
that.
of a big name in that group. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think she's a great wrestler. But.
Yeah, she's technically sound. Really pretty good on the mic. She was she was in NXT. Her and Chelsea Green were a tag team, and then they were going to bring them both up. They had them in the crowd and stuff, and then they brought Chelsea Green up and not her, and then she got cut. I think going to Impact has made a huge thing. Going to Ring of Honor, she at one point was like the female belt collector. She was
like the Matt Cardona of the world. Yeah.
Matt Cardona, the indie god.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's calling himself right now the
Indie Taker. The Indie Taker.
Oh, that's nice.
He wants to face
because he comes up dressing as the Undertaker.
So I think we need Rob. I think this from now on should just be we each get one guess. Whoever. I'll wait a few seconds. Give Hale to catch up.
I don't know, man. I think we should just serpentine the rounds. I think you should get second round, and then that way it's not just Hale the whole time.
You can go first next time.
Can I get some love though for my pick?
I said that was good. I was like, that was good. That was nice.
Long Impact. I'm like current face of Impact. I was like Deanna Purrazzo.
I'm not trying to throw you the everybody knows things.
Who was she in? What was she in as a Rosebud?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to remember. It was just one of the stats I looked up. She was part of the early take of that though.
Yeah, that second one, like Women's Revolution, that got me. And then you're like,
I thought that was gonna be the one that gave it away.
Ring of Honor, but I was like, man, I forgot she went to Ring of Honor.
Well, I was thinking Emma. I was thinking Emma when you said that because Emma was Tennille Dashwood when they had their first inaugural tournament for the women's division. Tennille Dashwood was like the main headliner of like that whole tournament. Like, ooh, we got Emma from WWE that's gonna do it.
Well, I think we, as we're winding down the show here, we're getting down to the last, 5-10 minutes. Is there any thoughts on Trinity winning that? And are we?
That's in our anything else is Impact Slammiversary.
So let's just go there right now. Let's touch that first since we're still kind of with it, and then we'll go to Brian Pillman. What are your thoughts, Trinity? You're okay with that? You like her in that? Were Sasha and her just completely away from WWE, or do you think they should have made a move to like AEW, made a bigger splash?
I'm glad she's in a place that I think that will respect her. Like, I think that will respect her talents where I feel like if she's in AEW, she's just going to get shuffled in with the crowd.
Lost in the crowd.
And there's always a chance, of, like I said, when Kenny had the belt and Chris, they had the whole back and forth with AEW people going there and Impact people coming. We'll see her in there. I want to bring up quickly in Slammiversary, we had some returns. Jake something returned. Kushida won the Ultimate X. That's one of the best matches in wrestling. I want AEW to do their own version of it. I'm trying to think of who else. There's one other big. Eric Young. How can you forget Eric Young returns? with Team
I s-
Canada.
I thought I said something on the chat about that. Like Eric Young
no,
came back.
you did. I'm just bringing out the and Detroit legend Darren McCarthy as a special.
I've seen that.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask. I was like, "Do you guys know who that is?" I have
Oh,
no
yeah, we
clue
know
who
that is.
Leo Rush making an impact, no pun intended, win the X division. Good for him.
It's a good place for him to be.
Yeah, it makes me sad because the Motor City, both the people of the Motor City Machine Guns representing Detroit had the titles and one dropped it. Nick Aldis couldn't beat. And I'm really happy. I'm a big
That one shocked me.
Do you know what Subculture is?
Yeah.
With Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they were in they were in NXT UK for a while. They won the tag team champions. So
Oh, they did? Okay.
I'm excited to see
See,
them
and I
get-
think too often we, if they're not AW, if they're not WWE, these places, there's people doing good work out there. You know what I mean? I thought Big Bill started getting my eye again when he was in ring or Impact. I was
Big
like, oh, he looks
Bill.
good. He's not an alcoholic no more. He's, you know what I mean? Like,
Jeez.
no, I mean, that's truth. That's fact.
Oh, and
So-
at the end, the big return, Josh Alexander returns. So,
Okay.
so
All right.
Hale, do you have anything to say?
I mean, just on the anything else, G1 Climax started. There was some ones I circled here, big matches. Oh, Tai Chi getting the win over Will Ospreay day
That's
one.
huge.
That's crazy.
Now, Does
That's
that,
wild.
in your guys' opinion, does that impact any storyline or storytelling in AEW with
No.
Will Ospreay?
No. The G1, and this is just Japanese, or like New Japan's like way of booking it. They're not afraid to let like the big like stars lose to like a lower card guy because they treat it like a sports competition. You know, you're
Yeah,
fighting like
anybody can
day
win on
in
any
and
given
day
night.
out. Oh, yeah, it's like, oh, one guy got your number one night. You know, it's
Gotcha.
that's how they treat it, and I don't think
Yeah.
it hurts them at all. I actually like it. It makes the matches a little bit more unpredictable. Let's see. There was another one I circled here. Let me find it real quick. It was night 2. Eddie Kingston beating Shingo Takagi,
Dude,
which is
dude's
big.
on a roll.
That was
and
that was the
in his
former New Japan.
His post conference, he wants to have a rematch at either All Out or All In.
Mhm.
He said,
And
he
then-
wants he was pleading Tony Khan to book it.
And then Jeff Cobb beating Naito.
Beat
That was
Naito.
big. Yeah, Jeff
Say
Cobb
that again.
beat
We kind of
Naito.
lost you.
Jeffrey Cobb beat Naito
Ooh, that's a big one.
to see
Interesting.
Naito. Yeah, it's a big one.
Side note: if anybody's listening, if you didn't get a chance, go back and watch the press conferences for these because they're hilarious. Like literally in the middle, Gabriel Kidd just jumps over a table and starts attacking wrestlers. It's hilarious. And like Eddie Kingston shows
That's
up.
wild,
Eddie
dude.
Kingston shows up.
It's funny.
like an hour into it, and just like, hey. So
Being,
Zack Sabre Jr. Goes around like testing the mic, walks around the back, and then comes up and he goes, "I'll do my best," and walks away.
I remember when Minoru Suzuki was in it. He'd beat up Young Lions like in the middle of his press conference. Like he'd go walk over to Young Lion, just boom, just like punch him in the face, and just like walk back.
It's so good. And then Hill, I know you want to talk about Brian Pillman Jr. So
Yeah, so well, this is something I was really bummed about because I thought Brian Pillman was a guy that AEW could like latch onto and be like promote this guy as a future star because I think he has that potential.
I agree.
And recently AEW let him go. They released him out of his contract, and supposedly he actually just got a tryout with WWE like a couple days after he was released from his contract. Not really coincidence in my eyes. I hope WWE gets him and actually does something with him.
I think I like Brian Pillman Jr. I think he's got huge potential too. And I think he's in the right place now because I think with Shawn Michaels, NXT, develop him there and then kind of work him way up. I think I just trust the guys that are running WWE right now that if they're going to try a guy out and sign him, that there's a vision for him. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
2 years ago, that might not have been the case. So anyways, rewatch, first watch. We need to jump into Hale's pick from last week, which was No Mercy 2017, The Bar versus The Shield.
before anybody, Hale, you talk about it, I just want to say I did not watch this. So sorry, guys, but I do remember this match just for Cesaro knocking out his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Brutal. Scum of the earth.
I know.
Um,
You don't have to watch Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat when I tell you to make that. So
I think the big things I just want to get across here is going into the match, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins were champions. This
Yep.
was something going on. I remember back at this time, you had those two, you had the Bar, and you had the Hardy Boys, and the combination of those three teams were having in New Day. Throw New Day in there too. The combination of those four tag teams were having like just constantly good tag team matches night in, night out. This is kind of the era where you had I guess the Usos too were there, but you had the Usos, New Day, Hell in a Cell match. I know Hardy Boys, the Bar had a nice cage match. I can't remember what pay-per-view it was, but I do remember it happening. And it's I think this is a really underrated time for tag teams because I think you had a lot of really good tag teams on the roster. And especially when there was not a whole lot going on when it came to main title pictures, because this is when Brock's Reign of Terror was happening
holding
when
it.
he wasn't on TV. Yeah, he wasn't on TV for like months on end. It's these kind of got the top ticket of the show. And I think with all the disdain going on for Brock and everything going on there, we forgot about what was happening in the tag division. So I kind of put this as one of my most underrated like gem matches going on at the time. I mean, this match, like you said, Grant, this match is most notable for Cesaro busting out his like two front teeth, busting it like upwards into his jaw. But there's a lot of really good spots on this. I remember there's one good spot where Seth Rollins goes to super kick Cesaro. He catches it, and then Sheamus gives him a bro kick out of nowhere, which was awesome spot. There's another spot where he catches Cesaro catches Seth Rollins on a top rope Hurricane Rana and then power bombs him onto Dean Ambrose on the ground. I mean, there's a lot of really good spots in this match. I just put it on the list. I think it's one of the more underrated matches that I don't think gets a lot of love that it deserves.
And this was number what on your list? 38?
Oh, Grant, you got to help me out here. I don't have it pulled up. It's 70 something.
I'll pull it up.
Okay, it was 70 something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought 38 was high when I was rewatching it.
No, yeah, it was like 78, I think. 70.
Okay. Yeah, some of the same spots you talked about, I remember sticking out. Obviously, him losing his teeth, that's the big one. But I love the spot in the corner where there's the power bomb. They both kind of did a move, and then he power bombs him from the top buckle down and onto the other guy. The false finishes stick out. You had Booker T, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole as the call on that. And they kind of, they were doing really, really good work. I thought Booker T and Corey Graves were kind of like a good yin and yang together without trying to go the old school way of like Jerry the King, somebody being a traditional, like over the top heel.
It was 78.
78. Okay. Those are the things that kind of stuck out for me in that match. A couple things to note. It was only a 13.5-minute match, and they did a lot of work in that time frame. So think about that. If you're a young wrestler, like, you can put together the 78th greatest match of all time in 13.5 minutes. I'd be interested in seeing what's the highest rated match that you have on your card that's under like 5 minutes, under 10 minutes.
Well, I know one that's under 10 minutes is Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam.
Interesting.
I know that because that one opened it, and that's like I think it's only like 8-9 minutes, but it's 8-9 minutes of like constant
going
action, just constant going.
Yeah, those are the things that stuck out to me. I would not have it in my 78. It wouldn't be in my top 100. But the crowd ate it up and loved it. And, right. And it's hard. I guess I would have to put together a list of 100 to see where it would fall. But yeah, I'm with you.
I want to say, I mean, like I said,
I love the match.
I didn't watch it. I miss the Bar. Like that was I know I'm not a big fan of random people being thrown together, but that had a story. They had the best of 7 matchup that really didn't end. So then they became a tag team, and they were like, what, 5-time tag team champ or something like that. Like
I remember, yeah, they were,
and they were just like.
It's the first time in my fandom in WWE with Cesaro that I actually cared about Cesaro. Where outside of like, I felt like he was being utilized the right way.
You didn't like him when he was a real American?
No, I liked him, but like he always felt miscasted to me. Like they never knew what his character was. It was like, dude, just make him a badass in the ring wrestler. Like if you're gonna call Gunther the ring general, that's what Cesaro could have been a long time ago.
I love too when they'd come to the ring and they'd have the back-to-back spotlight.
Oh,
they'd
yes.
in the suit and
Great entrance.
Hilts, like that
Dude,
was so good.
It was so far better than him being the damn James Bond of the WWE, where he came out to like the spotlight. You know what I mean? The circle. Ugh. They finally figured out something with him, and I am happy for him now because I think the Blackpool Combat Club is the perfect place for him too. So.
You might be happy for him, but you know it's not
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie
'cause
Kingston.
He hates Claudio.
All right,
Eddie Kingston's not happy.
I got to rate this match, right? Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
we never.
We didn't come up with a rating though. I'm just
Yes,
gonna
we
throw
did
one, and
not.
you tell me: do we want quarter ratings? Do we want just 3.5 4s? What do we
Your
want?
star rating.
Let's give it the 5 stars. You know, Dave Meltzer knows what's going on.
This is not a 5-star
we'll
for
let-
me. I'm actually very, very critical of things though. Like, I do remember 2017. I think it sticks out because it was a match that happened in 2017, because of what was happening on the championship thing. I'd go. My high is like I think I'd go as probably like 3.75.
That's what I was gonna say.
3.75.
I do a 3.75 just from what I can remember in my head from when I watched it.
Well,
This is probably one.
this
that
is
me-
my-
I think me and Hale watched this match together in my
Yeah.
my fraternity house. So
But see, those things help you remember those things and his teeth knocking out. All right, I think it's my week. Are we correct? For my
Yes.
homework?
it is.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yes.
see if this match. This is not a 5-star match by any means, but this is a 5-star entertainment match for the young Robert Gifford, the young Johnny Bang Bang when he was 5-6 years old. I remember this even at that young of age. I watched it over and over again as I kind of game into my like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old route. Shawn Michaels, Rick the Model Martel,
No.
SummerSlam 92, Sensational Sherry in the corner, but who's she with? She gets knocked out multiple times in this match, and both guys continue to go down the ring where she's laying just flat on her ass in multiple different occasions, and they both fight over bringing her back to the ring, but she's knocked out, so she can't choose. They're just both romanticizing over Sensational Sherry. I thought it was great sports entertainment to the fullest. And both guys, I thought Rick the Model Martel is an underrated guy that never got as much as he should have in WWE, but I really enjoyed his work. So have you seen this?
I have not seen this match. So
Hale,
I have not. No.
yes,
No.
watch it.
and
haven't
I
seen
like
this.
Rick the Model Martel.
Watch
so,
this
I'm
match.
excited.
SummerSlam 92.
Is
back
this
they were
when he
in
has
big-
the perfume?
Yes.
This is where he has like the giant like perfume thing? Okay.
Yes. So this is where Rick the Model Martel is actually the face in this match.
Really?
So there's no perfume.
Wild.
So he's the face, he's the good guy, where Shawn Michaels just came off the back of a super kick at the barbershop. He just made his turn, not too long before this. I was going to give you Shawn and Marty because it's an underrated classic, and Marty never recovered after they broke up, Marty Jannetty.
No.
But
No.
I thought this would be a nice, fun sports entertainment watch. You guys gave me some professional wrestling. I want to give you guys some sports entertainment. Check it out. Tell me what you think of it next week. And then see if we can't creep it up on that number 77 spot in his list.
I hope you know because I'm the next person after that. I'm going to make you guys watch the classic of MJF and Adam Cole versus Magic Meat.
Dude. Hey, we'll break it down. We'll do everything we
Number
got
one,
to.
baby. Number one.
Magic Meat.
That's a Meltzer 5-star right there.
It is.
Meltzer 5-star.
Now,
It's like
here's the
me.
thing. So, rewatch, first watch. Should we just throw matches? I know Hale has his list. Should we just matches we think are going to be good?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing you
You
matches I want you guys to watch.
Because I got a New Japan match next
Yeah.
week I want to watch.
I just want, there's just certain matches out there that stick in my zeitgeist forever. And this is one of them. I didn't have to think, like, I knew SummerSlam 92. It just sticks in my head. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not overthinking this. I just, those are the ones I want you to watch. Like, I could say, hey guys, go back and rewatch WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels Taker, the stakes and everything built up. WrestleMania 28, where they conclude the story with the Hell in the Cell. But you guys have seen those. You remember those. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
these are the ones
Right.
I'm more interested in the first watches or the rewatches being so obscure that we just, you know what I mean? Why did they matter and what do you think of them? So,
Right.
we are coming to you live this Thursday, 9:30. I'm going to hold off on telling them what we're going to try to do because I think we should do it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think we should figure out exactly what we want it to be and why we're doing it and then do that. And we'll breaking news of what the big thing we're going to do is. And maybe we can get a fan engagement of their list too. to go along with ours. Hale, final words, Grant, final words, and then we'll get out of here.
My final words are, being trapped at a soap store for an hour while there is a massive thunderstorm going on isn't necessarily always the bad thing. That's it for me. Thank you, everybody.
Did a meet cute happen? Something happened in that soap store.
I know the world will never know. We don't know. It's a mystery.
Hey, lube was already present, though. I know that.
My thing is, have fun, be good. Don't just enjoy wrestling. That's all I can say.
As always, enjoy wrestling. Be kind to your friends and family.
Unless it's Hale.
Be happy.
You can be mean to him all you want. I don't care.
Johnny, JBB Wrestling, it's up. Instagram, it is officially up. I'm going to give you guys the passwords and stuff like that when we get off here. And then go follow starting tomorrow. TikTok will be up as well at JBB Wrestling. We will see you guys.
Get ready for the next. We're going to have some chop bets coming soon. So
4 days. Yeah, the Thursday show is going to be a little off the rails, ridiculous, unless it's like the show before a pay-per-view or something. We might be able to.
Hale might be eating soap. Who knows?
So.
See you down the road.